Where Sir Marshall is standing by for the official Africa Day celebrations. Sir Marshall, a very good morning to you.
Good morning, Lebo, and good morning to the viewers. We are coming to you live from the University of Pretoria at the Mamelodi campus. And that opening scene, that shot of this vista is absolutely beautiful this morning. I'm going to be honest with you. Being here at the university and seeing the hustle and bustle in the streets, it's very hard to believe that it's a Sunday. Now, tomorrow on the 25th, we'll be celebrating Africa Day. Our president, Jacob Zuma, the Honorable Jacob Zuma is expected to be here at the University of Pretoria. He'll be officiating the inaugural Africa Day celebrations. It is a stellar cast. The program director will be the Minister of Arts and Culture, Nathi Mthethwa. The welcome address will be done by the Minister of Internationals and Cooperation, Maitinkwana Mashabane. We'll also have the Premier, Mr. David Makuro, form part of the program. And as you know, Africa Day today is the inaugural celebration for South Africa, 21 years into our democracy, 21 years joining the OAU, the Organization of African Unity, and of course the AU, the African Union. Now, on the African continent, Africa Day has been celebrated since 1963 with the formation of the OAU, and then of course in 2002 with the AU. A lot of the focus today will be on peace and stability on the African continent. We'll be talking about our integration, how we integrate successfully on the African and into the African continent. But we'll also be talking to a host of guests this morning. We'll be talking to the MEC of Education, Panyaza Lesufi. We'll have a chat to the Minister of Arts and Culture, Nathi Mthethwa, and we'll have a talk to them about the Africa Day celebrations. Right now, I'm joined by a cultural activist, Tlumelo Petros, who will be part of the celebrations here today. And we're talking about youth and the integration of youth into Africa Day. Tlumelo, thank you very much for joining me here on Morning Live. Let's talk about the role that youth play, that reality, 21 years into our democracy.
The youth play an important role, obviously. South Africa is 21 years old, and I have a brother who is 21 years old, and I see how he's coming into his age and how he's coming into himself as well as a man. And South Africa is also coming into itself now as a 21-year-old, and yeah, we're developing. Yes.
Today, it's our inaugural Africa Day celebration. It's been celebrated on the African continent, as I mentioned in the intro, since 1963 with the formation of the OAU. Finally, South Africa, and a lot of people will argue that maybe in many ways South Africans haven't really found their identity on the African continent. We still hear South Africans talk about being South African first before being African first.
Well, as a woman and as a Xhosa woman, that is just a drop in the ocean compared to what Africa is. You know, we're just something. It's very small. Calling myself a Xhosa woman, as an African, then I'm something bigger, and I can create something bigger in Africa. I can become something bigger in Africa and empower my sisters and brothers in Africa as well.
How do we get youth? And I think part of my conversation a little bit later with the MEC of Education is talking about education at a grassroots level. How do we make sure that young people understand their role, especially those born frees? You said your brother's turning 21. How do we make sure that your brother and people like your brother understand the role they play in making sure that we stay a progressive society, that we are constantly moving forward, that we develop young leaders of tomorrow?
I think by helping them understand who they are and what they are in South Africa. I think many people do have an identity crisis. Many people do not know who they are, and many look for outside influences to create the person who they want to be. Whereas we have a lot of leaders and many leaders in South Africa who have passed and who are still here today and who are growing as well today, who many people can look up to. So if you understand these leaders and understand these people more, you yourself can develop. You can help develop these men, like my brother as well. Yes.
Clemelo Petros, thank you very much for joining me. She'll be part of the celebrations here today. President Jacob Zuma expected to lead the inaugural celebration 21 years into our democracy. So much more coming from this venue a little bit later. As I mentioned to you, we'll have a chat to the MEC of Education, Panyaza Lesufi. We'll talk about the role of educating children at a school level. We'll also have a chat to the Minister of Arts and Culture and find out more about